Hi, guys. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving. I've got a little menagerie behind me today and some kind of crazy, crazy sunshine happening from this side. So hang on one second while I adjust this. Oh, wow, look at you guys. Beautiful. All right, that is a little bit better. Sorry about that, guys. I feel like I never know how the light is going to stream in here. So I wanted to get on today, and thank you so much for joining me, you guys. And Leah, happy Thanksgiving. Mariana, happy Thanksgiving. Looks like Simba's right behind me. It's always so funny setting up for YouTube streaming because I can't really see what it looks like until I turn on my stream, and so much sun comes through my windows and bounces off. There's a mirror behind my computer. Um, Jennifer, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving. I thought I would hop on here for a few minutes today. And Simba's being, I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's trying to get Alfie there. Simba, you're being a little bit of a nudge right now. So I wanted to get on today, guys, and talk to you a little bit about when you should be bringing a Yorkie puppy home. So people make a lot of comments on YouTube, and so many people are coming on my YouTube and they're saying things like, I'm about to get my puppy and it's going to be 7 weeks old, or it's going to be 8 weeks old. So I'm going to do a live stream talking about the topic. And then later on, I'm actually going to do a shorter, more condensed, more planned video talking about the same thing, but just a little bit more succinctly. So if you guys want to share that with your friends or family and things that are thinking about getting a Yorkies, I think it will be pretty informative. So it really depends on what type of dog you're getting when you should be bringing a puppy home. So for big dogs like Labrador Retrievers, they say that I believe it's day 64, which would be 8 weeks, is the perfect time to bring home a Labrador Retriever. And so I think this is where there's a little bit of confusion with Yorkshire Terriers, and a lot of people are bringing home their Yorkshire Terriers really too early. When I come on to YouTube and I look at my comments, I notice that it seems like almost everyone that's bringing home a Yorkie is bringing it home too early. And I think that when people are getting Yorkies, it probably seems like it's not that big of a deal, and people think they're going to be, extra little and extra cute, and everybody loves little cute baby animals. Hopefully everybody that's normal loves little cute baby animals. But anyway, when your puppy leaves its mom, it's super important that it is ready to leave its mom and that it's gotten every single thing that it needs from its mother and also its litter mates. So when people are bringing their puppies home early, I realize it might be that the breeder, said that it was okay, but I really wanted to talk to you about when you should be bringing your puppy home for the absolute optimal results and the healthiest puppy and the happiest puppy. So, a few different things. In almost every single state, 8 weeks is the bare minimum that you should be bringing any puppy home. So, below 8 weeks is actually illegal in most states. And it's illegal in most states because it is so unsafe for the puppies to leave before 8 weeks. So, I don't suggest bringing your puppy home at 8 weeks, but I would say that anybody that tells you that you can take a puppy home before 8 weeks, that should really raise some red flags for you. And I wouldn't even consider getting a puppy from such a breeder because they are doing something that's most likely illegal, and it's definitely a bad idea for the dogs. So if you do choose to get a puppy from a breeder, as opposed to adopting and things like that, it's really important that you get a puppy from a breeder that really cares about their dogs, that's going to have taken care of the parents, and not I mean, I think what a lot of people are probably unwittingly doing is getting a puppy from someone that's not done a really great job raising that puppy. So, one thing that you really have to look out for would be getting a dog from a pet store. So, most of the time, if you're getting a dog from a pet store, those puppies are coming from puppy mills. They're in horrible conditions, and the parents are not taken care of. There's a lot of filthy conditions, and they're actually separating a lot of the babies from their mothers at 6 weeks old. So this isn't safe for them. It's not humane, and they are not having a chance to get strong. And then they're shipping those puppies, which obviously not all the puppies are going to make it. So one thing that I implore you is do not get a puppy from a pet store. You can be guaranteed that they were not with their mothers for long enough. And I know that everybody, when they think about puppies, when they see how cute they are, they just get so excited that they want to bring one home now. And if you go to a pet store, I know it can be really, really tempting to bring one home from a pet store because they're so cute. And in a way, you feel like you're saving the puppy. But really, instead of saving the puppy, you're perpetuating puppy mills and poor treatment for Yorkies. And also, I believe you're most likely going to have health problems with your Yorkshire Terrier later on when it's older. There's obviously no guarantees that any Yorkie is going to be healthy, but if you get your Yorkie and it wasn't with its mother for long enough, you really can't make up for that time. Just want to take a quick peek at the comments here. Darlene, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hi, Tiffany. Happy Thanksgiving. It's so nice to see you on here. Oh my gosh, always so nice for you to greet everybody. Tiffany says, I got my Pomeranian at 10 weeks, and one breeder actually was offering Pomeranian puppies at 5 weeks. She never heard from me again. Oh my gosh, Tiffany, that is so awful that she would be offering puppies at that age. I definitely think that when someone's doing that, it's a sign that you definitely do not want to get a puppy from them. I'm going to see if I can give you guys slightly better light. I feel like this is not the best angle here. I think that's a little bit better. It's so tricky because I've got my Christmas tree up, so filming is a little bit different with that, but I think that light is just a little bit more pretty. So 8 weeks is the bare minimum for it to be legal to bring a puppy home. That said, most good breeders, and this is really what I hope that you guys will always take the time to look for, most good breeders of Yorkies are going to insist that you wait until 12 weeks. So 12 weeks is really the optimal time to bring home a Yorkie. And I totally get it that when you're waiting for a puppy, you're so excited and you probably think, I'm going to take the best care of my puppy. So why don't I just bring it home now? I think there's some different reasons why breeders would be letting their puppies leave a little bit earlier. One reason is that every week that a puppy is staying with the breeder, it's going to cost the breeder more money. They're feeding the puppy, they're spending more time with the puppy. It is easier for a breeder to send a puppy home before it's ready. So I think that some breeders are dying to let those puppies go a little bit earlier because they don't want to spend the time and money to take care of them for longer. For me, it would be a really big red flag, and I would never buy a Yorkshire Terrier from a breeder that is willing to let them go at even 8 weeks. And I know that, people might say, well, I'm getting it from a good breeder, but really those two things don't go hand in hand. And sometimes I feel bad telling people things that I don't think people necessarily want to hear that because they want to bring their puppy home at 8 weeks, but it's really not a good idea to bring your puppy home at 8 weeks. So probably most of you don't know this, but originally I had gone to school for early childhood education. So I was supposed to be an elementary school teacher. And one of the things that you learn with, learning about human development is that there are certain developmental things that can never be replaced. So if they don't happen in your childhood, you could spend years and years of therapy, of trying to get things right, of socialization. But if they happen in your childhood, it's really easy. or it's really easy rather. So the same is true for puppies. So if you think about that, say you take a puppy home at 7. I swear I really thought I turned off my phone, but I guess I didn't. Sorry about that, guys. So if you take a puppy home at 7 weeks or 8 weeks instead of 12 weeks, you're depriving your puppy of probably 4 or 5 weeks of socialization with their litter mates and their mother. And during that time, the litter mates and the mama dog are actually doing training for your Yorkie that you as a human will never be able to replace. So, unless there is an emergency situation where the Yorkie's mother maybe died in childbirth, or I can't really think of another emergency situation where it would happen. I would just never recommend taking a puppy away, because if your puppy doesn't get that socialization, it may have, adjustment issues, training issues, separation anxiety. There are just certain things that can never be worked out if you take your puppy away too early. And I think some people might feel like they can replace that time, but the time with litter mates and with the mother can never ever be replaced. So that is one of the reasons. And what sort of motivated me to talk about this today was that someone, I think, asked me in the comment section, why is it important for a Yorkie to stay until it is 12 weeks old? Just kind of peeking at the comments here too. Jennifer says, I think selling dogs at pet stores should be illegal everywhere. I completely agree, Jennifer. It's such a terrible practice. And I think it also really encourages people that perhaps haven't thought enough about getting a dog to get a dog. I would love to see the percentage of dogs that are given up for adoption that were purchased at pet stores, as opposed to reputable breeders. And I think it would be a huge difference. I mean, one thing that is different is if you get a puppy from a show breeder, most of the time you sign a contract that if you are ever going to give your dog up for adoption, you actually have to first offer it back to the breeder, because the breeder would rather have a dog back that they placed so that they could make sure that it gets a good home, and they would actually never want a puppy. I know that the Yorkshire Terrier breeder, who is a show breeder that I go to, would absolutely, she makes you sign something that you would give a dog back to her if ever you are unable to keep it for whatever reason that would be. And I really think that that's an important thing. A pet store is 100%, they don't want the dog back. They're not going to find it a good home. Probably the only way that they would take it back is if they could make money from it. So it's anything that is truly for profit is something to be aware of when it comes to Yorkshire Terriers, because it is a big profit industry. And honestly, a good breeder is not in it for the profit. So the Yorkie breeder that I go to isn't in it for the money. She's in it for love and passion, and because she just really adores Yorkies. So Jennifer also says, I know a lot of countries it is already illegal. I wish the US and Canada would join. I could not agree with you more. And it looks like Tiffany says, she says, Jennifer Casey, I completely agree as well. Oh my gosh, you're so smart, Tiffany. I did not even know that you could symbol someone to say their name in the comments. That's so smart. Darlene says, you are welcome. I love your furry babies. Thank you. Says, got my Yorkie at 4 months. The breeder I got mine from is amazing. Darlene, that's so awesome. And I love to hear those stories of people that got their dogs, at a great age. And I'm not trying to knock anybody that didn't, because I know that a lot of people don't. I'm really just educating people that are going to get puppies in the future. You can't know what you don't know. So if somebody didn't tell you this information before, I'm not blaming you for getting a puppy that was younger, but I just try to share the information for how you can get the happiest and healthiest Yorkie, because obviously they are our babies and we want to make sure that they had the best possible upbringing, because there are certain things that, we later on we might have some serious problems if we don't wait for long enough when we do get our our puppies and things. Even my cat Simba, wherever he's, you guys can probably see him, he's on the table where he likes to be. I got him at about, I want to say he was 14 weeks old. And it's because the cat breeder that I got him from, see if I can turn this up anymore. The cat breeder that I got him from would not let you adopt a cat until after Christmas, because she didn't feel that Christmas trees were safe for cats, which I have to say he's been really, really bothering the Christmas tree and knocking ornaments off it. So I think that was really smart. Jennifer says, Tiffany Brown, I was at a pet store the other day that had puppies and it broke my heart. I went in to try and find Bentley a winter jacket and left. No pet stores that sell puppies will get my money. I think that is a really, really great thing to do. Um, Tiffany, it's just so shocking when you see pet stores. And I feel like that's one of the hard things. Like, I absolutely love my viewers. I appreciate everybody that's on here. But a lot of people, when they're telling me that they're getting their puppies, they're just giving me ages that are way too early. And, part of what I do with my channel, I really want to educate and make sure that Yorkies and the mama and papa dogs that they came from are getting the very best treatment. So I think it's important for me to tell those people, it, like, to me, that would be an immediate red flag and I would not go to one of those breeders. And I know that people get a little bit desperate and they just want what they want when they want it. But later on, they can be dealing with a lot of heartache because of the choices that they made early on by getting a Yorkie too early. So I think it really matters. And just as a little side note, when I started looking for a Yorkie years and years ago, I did not know all of these things. And so originally what I was looking for was, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, we lost, so there were four children in my family and we lost my younger brother during the holidays when I was 26. And I remember just wanting to do something for my mom, and in retrospect, it was a bad idea, but I wanted to get her a Yorkie to keep her company because she was really sad. And so I found this breeder and I went to go see her. And, I just want to tell you guys what it looked like, because she seemed really nice. And she had a really pretty house and she was a pretty lady with beautiful hair and very friendly. And she had Yorkies everywhere. And they were so cute and they were sitting in my lap. And she told me that the parents were like, she introduced me to the parents and things like that. Well, I did my Google research, as I often do, and I found out that she was actually what is called a puppy broker. So what's even scarier is that puppy brokers actually make it seem like they're puppy breeders, but they're just getting dogs from a puppy mill. They're bringing them to their homes, or whatever they say their kennel is, and then they're selling them. So you think you might be getting something from a reputable breeder, but in fact you're perpetuating puppy mills. So I want to say that I think she was in Sutton, Mass. But I read a lot about her, and I actually met people later on that had Yorkies from her, and they had a lot of health problems. And this sounds really terrible too. They were also not beautiful Yorkies. They weren't well-bred Yorkies. And I love all Yorkies. I'm not trying to disparage them. I think they're all wonderful creatures, but a great breeder does know how they're supposed to look, and they pick out, like, for instance, Alfie is a show champion and he's beautiful and he's got beautiful hair. And so part of the agreement when I adopted him from the breeder is that I'm not allowed to neuter him because he is a perfect Yorkie. And she said, I worked so hard to breed this perfect Yorkie, and you can have him as a pet as long as I'm allowed to use him once a year to basically make puppies with another show dog. And for me, that wasn't the most convenient thing, and I really prefer to neuter my dogs and things, but he was such a special dog and I wanted him to be a pet home. So I did that. But that's really an example of someone that took, if you guys have seen Alfie, he's got such a great personality, and he's perfect. He's perfect to breed because his temperament is great. His health is great. His coat is beautiful and thick, and he truly looks like a Yorkie. And she is really a wonderful breeder because even though he is technically a breeding dog, she wanted him to have a home. So she let me take him and take care of him and then bring him back when she needs him for just a couple of days a year. And I think that really tells you that she is looking out for her dogs. She keeps them in really beautiful, clean conditions. She actually kept Lola until Lola was 12 weeks old because she felt that Lola was too small for it to be safe for her to go home at 12 weeks. So she kept her for 13 weeks because she felt like she needed to gain a little bit more weight and have a little bit of extra time with her mother for her immune system and things like that. Hi, Jackie. It's so nice to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for hopping on. This was like so impromptu today, but I decided just to hop on before Jeff and I go get a little bit of Thanksgiving dinner. I think I think I hear him ironing back there with my little pink iron and everything. Jackie says, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Puppies and kittens are not sold in pet stores in the UK, but there are still bad breeders here. There are puppy farms hidden away and they sell them on the internet. I feel like it's a really bad sign when people are advertising puppies on the internet. Most Yorkie breeders, most good breeders are going to make you fill out a form, and on that form they're going to ask you a lot of questions, like you're adopting a baby because you're adopting a Yorkie baby. So they're going to ask you what your plans are to walk the dog, where the vet will be, do you have a safe space? Is your pet going to be unattended outside? They ask you a lot of questions, and you also have to sign something, by the way, that says that you agree to spay or neuter your dog, and that basically, like you have to let them know that you do that. And you also have to agree that you will never breed their dogs. So the other thing is when people come here on my channel and they ask me about breeding their dogs, I already know they didn't go to a good breeder because a good breeder would have told them that you shouldn't do that. That's really up to a great person that knows what they're doing. And it's not for everybody to do. It's just like it's something that you have to be really careful with. You have to make sure that they don't have genetic issues like liver shunt, trying to breed out things like luxating patella and common problems that Yorkies have. And even if they have a lot of anxiety, that would not be a good dog to breed usually. Hi, Ria. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving. Jennifer says, I think it's great that you're trying to educate. I did so much research before getting my first Maltese and had no clue that small dogs should be kept with their moms and litter mates until 12 weeks. Exactly, Jennifer. I mean, I feel like it's such a learning curve. And a lot of us, when we get our first dogs, we may not know that. I know that when I first was looking for a Yorkie, I sort of went through this like learning curve. And at first, I just wanted to get one really quickly. And then I sort of slowed down and did a lot of research. And funny story. So when I got Teddy, I remember I called and I got Teddy. So I picked him up from the Yorkshire Terrier show breeder where I've gotten all of my dogs from. But she is best friends with another. I think it's Yorkshire Terrier Club of America breeder. And when I called, she said, I'm watching these dogs for my friend who's also a breeder. I won't say their name. And um, and I said, are you a puppy broker? And she was like, just laughed at me. And she's like, I'm not a puppy breeder. Look me up again. I'm a Yorkshire Terrier show breeder. And there's almost like, it's very hard to have that. So it turns out that she's best friends with another show breeder. And when this other show breeder would go on vacation to Florida, she would take whatever puppies were still there. And I guess Teddy was a boy. And for whatever reason, nobody wanted a boy. I don't know why. He was just the best. But so she was watching Teddy. And then when it came time for me to get Lola, I wasn't sure. Part of me wanted to get a dog from Teddy's breeder simply because, I loved Teddy's look and he was such a great, great dog. But I already knew the breeder that I had gotten the other puppies from. So I decided to get Lola from her. And she's just become one of my good friends, basically. She's such a kind person. And she just has given me so much advice and she's always really understanding. I know she had wanted to borrow back Alfie, I think it might have been 3 or 4 months ago. I can't remember how long it was when Skylar, my assistant, left, but she had wanted to borrow Alfie back. And I was so, so busy and also so sad that Skylar was leaving. So I asked her if she could possibly borrow another male dog for her breeding with that particular dog, just because I didn't want to be separated from Alfie when I was already sad that I was going to be separated from Skylar, who was leaving for New York and was my favorite person ever. Um, so one really important thing that people should know is if you remove a puppy earlier than 12 weeks, it can lead to anxiety and eating problems. So that is something that I feel like I see on here a lot as questions from people that have just gotten puppies. And a lot of times they're saying that their puppies are not eating well. The other thing that can happen much more commonly than you would think if you get a younger dog than an older dog is hypoglycemia. And so I've never had that issue, even though all of my dogs are really quite small, I never had any problems with hypoglycemia. And I think it's because I waited so long and they were much more developed. They also ate very, very well. So there are just a lot of problems that you could run into. And with anxiety, that's something that you may never be able to cure. So I know a lot of people use different things to try to, fix anxiety in their dogs. But if the anxiety is from not being with their parents for long enough, or rather their mother for long enough and their litter mates, it's not really something that you can substitute. I mean, the way that I look at it, it's sort of like you wouldn't send a 3-year-old on a school bus by itself, like a 3-year-old human. And for me, taking a Yorkie home at 7 weeks is like putting a 3-year-old on a school bus with no parents. It's just not a good idea. Um, and that 3-year-old may or may not be okay. Probably not, because they won't know what to do. So I think it's really, really important to wait for longer, be patient, and also to be really, really picky when you're looking for a breeder. Instead of just, it's like, I think what happens is people get a little bit desperate sometimes, and people don't want to wait and they want that instant gratification. But you're going to, if you're a good pet owner, you're going to have a pet for its entire life, because I think everybody that gets a pet, I mean, unless they get incredibly ill and they can't, the only reason I could think to give up your pet would be that you get incredibly, incredibly ill, and you can't care for your pet. Like when people are senior citizens and there's just some reason like that, I think that makes sense. But other than that, hopefully you keep your pet forever. Um, Mariana says, how can I find a good breeder if the internet is the only source that most of us search for a Yorkie? So you can use the internet, but I would be looking out for people that are running ads. That would be one thing. I would Google everybody repeatedly if you are looking for a dog. Don't just do one Google search, and don't ever go by what people say, because anybody can say anything. But you really have to be a detective when you're looking into a breeder. Don't just look for a cute Instagram with tons of photos and things like that. Like, I'll tell you, most of the show breeders don't have time to have cute Instagrams. They don't post much on their websites. Their websites are very, very simple. But I would find a Yorkie just really one of two ways. I would either go through the Yorkshire Terrier Club of America, and they probably only have, they might have like somewhere between 2 and 4 breeders in each state. And I would look there, and I would contact breeders, and I would get on their list. And I think with a good breeder, you could easily be looking at a 6-month wait, but it is so worthwhile to wait for that, because if you if you don't wait, you might be getting a dog that's not healthy. And oh, we've got a little fight back there. Whoops, did you guys see that? The cat's bothering Lola. They're so funny. Bailey's Button says, happy Thanksgiving to Megan and her Yorkies. Much love from Clovis, California. Thank you so much. Thanks for saying hello, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I am so thankful for you guys. I love getting on here and chatting. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. I told my husband, I was like, I'm just going to get on and chat a little bit, and then we can take the babies out on their walk. We're going to put Simba in his backpack because he also likes to go with everybody. And I don't usually get to take Simba when I'm on my own because it's hard. I usually have a crossbody bag with Lola and then a big backpack for Simba and the other two. So I do it more. Jeff and I do it together sometimes. Lucky Lou, who says, I'm waiting patiently. Awesome. That's so good to hear. Here we have to wait until the puppy is 2.5 pounds or 12 weeks, whichever comes first. My weight will be over soon. My pup will be 12 weeks on December 15th, and she is just over 2 pounds. Lucky Lou, that makes me so happy. I'm so glad that you're being so responsible. And again, I'm not judging anybody that didn't know and got a younger dog, because there's so many things I didn't know. I just like to pass this on and hopefully also just save you guys from some heartbreak, if you will. I had a really lovely person leave a comment this week. And first of all, she just opened her heart to me, and she told me that she had lost her son a few years ago, which I thought was really sad. And then she said she was getting a puppy at 7 weeks. And I didn't want to tell her what to do, but I said, I also thought really not a good idea to get a puppy at 7 weeks. So I just said, if there's a way that you could wait until your puppy is older, I think it would be such a better idea. And I just want to spare you from some heartbreak, because I think she's been through enough heartbreak. So if I can, it's okay, puppy, you can stay right here. I'm going to brush your side now. So if I could just spare her from a little bit of heartbreak, I think that would be really awesome. So always have to think about, I mean, I always try to be honest, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody sad. But sometimes I think if I make someone a tiny bit sad because they have to wait now to get their puppy, I might actually be making them happier in the future because they're going to get a healthier puppy with a stronger immune system, with less anxiety, that's just more well balanced and is a it's okay, puppy. You're such a good girl. And is a better companion in the long run. I want to see if I can back this up a little. I can't because this darn chair, there's so much furniture and stuff now in here, but Poppy is such a little baby. Look at this girl. Jennifer says, totally off topic. Jennifer, you can be, and anybody, feel free to be as off topic as you want. I mean, I come on sometimes when I have a topic, but that doesn't mean that you can't be totally off topic. I don't mind at all. I did get my hair colored recently, Jennifer. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a hair colorist and I own a hair salon as well. And I went to see, so my friend Joanna has been coloring my hair since I was her assistant, actually. And we tried something a little bit different. So I'm going to put it up so you guys can see my hair too, since I'm talking about it. So basically, I was covering my gray for a little while, and I just realized that I don't really have that much gray, and it seemed like it was a lot of extra work. So this time I didn't cover my gray. So I lightened my roots a teeny tiny bit myself before I went to see her because I have such dark hair. And then she just did some really, really nice highlights. And it's sort of like halfway, not halfway, it's more than halfway blow dried. I figured I would let it finish drying during the live stream. And then before we go out for Thanksgiving, I'm going to do some like loose beach waves and things. So I hopefully look extra nice when we go out for Thanksgiving. But thank you for the compliment. I love how it came out. And I feel like my white hairs, which I don't have a lot of, just look like blonde. So guys, if you haven't done so, I would love it if you can hit the like button. It makes such a big difference for my videos. Happy birthday for anyone that's just coming on. And seriously, guys, please feel free to hop into the comment section to say hello. It doesn't matter if your comment is not off topic or if it's not on topic. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget what I'm saying. Jackie says, I got my 3 Yorkies from a registered show breeder in the UK Kennel Club register. So smart, Jackie. I'm so glad that you did your research. That's awesome. I think that's a great, great way to find your puppies. And by the way, just so you guys know, a lot of this information that I'm giving to you came off of the AKC's website. It's funny, there's another website that says it's for Yorkie info on the internet, and it said that 8 weeks was a good age. And I feel like I can't say the name of the website, but I totally wouldn't listen to anything they said because that information is so false. And if you went to the Yorkshire Terrier Association, the Club of America, they would not be saying the same thing. And they're really the go-to for Yorkshire Terrier information. Unfortunately, anybody can start a website. So everything that you find on the internet isn't always true, which is what gets so tricky. Thank you for the heart, Bailey's button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Jackie says, my show breeder is now a good friend of mine and I visit her with all my Yorkies. That's so cute. I get to see their moms and dads too. That is super, super awesome. That's exactly the same with mine. And even though she had not bred Teddy, and she was the one that technically sold Teddy to me, but she hadn't bred him, she gave me just a lifetime of support when he was sick, answered all of my phone calls, was incredible to me. And so I feel like sometimes she was a better source of information than the vet with Teddy. And that was amazing. And Teddy was 16 weeks old when I got him. And I remember saying, oh, well, I want a really, really little puppy. And let me tell you, a 16-week-old Yorkie, come on, puppy, we got to lay on your back, on your side. You got to lay on your side so I can get all your tangles out. Come here. It's so funny. Usually she wants to be brushed, but I think she's being a little bit shy today. She knows that she is on the live stream. She gets shy about that sometimes. Lucky Lou, who says, I just hope that my Yorkie gets along well with my 5.5-pound Malshi. I think the Yorkie will be in charge quickly. I think they will get along, and just remember it may not happen right away. I was actually thinking, it's so funny. I'm curious what you guys think, but I was thinking of doing a video about bringing home a Yorkie puppy and introducing it to your other dogs. I know that I did a video on introducing kittens to puppies, but I think that introducing puppies to other dogs is really important too. So that was a video that I was thinking about making. If you guys are interested in that, Mariana says, it's probably too late to ask, but when are you releasing your sleep masks? Oh my gosh, it's not too late to ask at all, Mariana. So I am waiting. I really want to order them. The reason I haven't is that I have a really wonderful woman that does all my importing for me, and she wanted me to wait on one more sample before I decide. So the sample should be getting here any day now. And I think I'm ordering from the company that I just got my masks from, but she just wanted me to see one other place. And since she's been super, super good to me and imported such good products, I wanted to, be gracious and not sort of just do whatever I wanted to do. So I should be placing an order within a week, but I'm just waiting on seeing that other sample because she wanted me to give her other sample a chance as well. But I'm chomping at the bit because I'm in love with my silk sleep mask that I have. It is the best thing I've ever used. So it's pretty amazing. I feel like I should just order it and I can always switch over to another place if I really like those better, but I can't imagine that I would like anything better. Angela says, my Yorkie passed away 2 years ago this month at age 15. Angela, I'm so sorry to hear it. Losing a Yorkie is just, it's so, so hard. I lost Teddy, my gosh, I think it was 3 years ago, December 9th, 3 years ago. And it still seems so fresh sometimes when I'm editing. I still use some footage and pictures in my videos of Teddy. For those of you that don't know, it's the really cute little puppy that's like, he's got lighter hair and it's a little bit curly. And sometimes if I'm even editing out something of his, it makes me so sad. Like I don't want to delete any photo or shorten any video because I miss him so much. So I do get that. So you're saying, I have been looking for so long for a female Yorkie. It seems like they don't like to give up these female Yorkies. Angela, do you mind me asking in what state you live? Don't feel like you have to tell me. You could also tell me like a region of the country if you feel like telling me that as well. I think that's probably true. They may, because they probably don't need as many male Yorkies as female Yorkies. So that could be true. And a lot of people want females too. I love males so much, but let me know and then I will get back to you from that as well. But I'm sorry that it's been so hard for you to find a female Yorkie. Another thing to think about, Angela, that I'll tell you. So sometimes with a reputable show breeder, what you can also do is to ask them if they would consider letting you to adopt a retired dog that was not only a show dog usually, but that they were used for breeding. So I know that my breeder usually retires her Yorkies around 7 years old, and they're such sweet dogs. Poppy was actually a show champion, so she was supposed to be bred, but she was too little, and the breeder didn't think it was safe for her to be bred. So I was able to adopt her, and by adopting her, I still bought her. So she feels pretty strongly that everybody should purchase the dogs so that and I don't know exactly if there's a different amount or what have you, depending on their age that you adopt them for. But she feels that knowing that people are willing to make an investment in the dog is usually a good sign that people really want the dog. And it's so interesting, but I do think that is or can be true as well. Oh, Lucky Luhu, thank you for your kind words to Angela. She said, so sorry to hear of your loss. I know it's heartbreaking. It really is. And Mariana says, we were walking through the streets and there was this lady giving away 2-week-old puppies. Oh my gosh. We asked her if they were too young to be away from their mother, but she said she can't take care of them. Honestly, Mariana, if you saw that, I would call the police on that person. Like I think sometimes it's hard for people to know, but I would report someone like that because it's animal abuse. I mean, like if anything, if they were 2 weeks old and there was some reason why she couldn't take care of them, they should have gone to a proper rescue somewhere with veterinary care to take care of them. That's really, really sad. Oh, I wish people were more responsible with animals. It makes me really sad. Animals just can't take care of themselves. So you hope that the people that have them would take care of them. Mariana says, so we took one of them. Oh my gosh, now he is sitting with me watching you live. His name is Lucky. He is a mix of Lab, Border Collie, and Australian Shepherd mix. He is 6 months old and he is healthy and happy. Mariana, that's amazing. I don't know how you raised a 2 month, you said, or no, 2 week old puppy. That is just crazy that you were able to raise such a little puppy. Sounds like you really, really love animals. And thank God that that puppy is healthy and happy. I'm so glad to hear it. Lucky Lou, who says, I feel fortunate to have found a female Yorkie in Colorado. Oh, that's so nice. Lucky Lou, who I don't know if you know, but my husband's business is in Colorado. He has a business in Aspen, Colorado. I love Colorado. Angela says, thank you. You have educated me so much with all the videos. I'm from New York. Oh my gosh, Angela, it's my pleasure. So, did you check the Yorkshire Terrier Club of America website to see if there's any breeders that would be around you that would have any female Yorkies, or if you can get on their list? I know that a lot of times they don't necessarily know when they're having litters. And the other thing that I would say is really good to do is to stay in contact with them. So I don't think, they're not salespeople and they're not really trying to sell. So I think it's probably good just to check up and pop in every, maybe couple of months and say, just wanted to let you know that I'm still interested in a puppy. Just in case, and even remind them in case someone backs out of getting a puppy. I know that when I was looking for a Siberian kitten, I was in no rush because I wanted to find a great, great match. But there were a few breeders that said that they didn't have kittens. And then I think 2 of them afterwards did because people backed out from the kittens. Angela, there also, if you're in New York, another thing to think about there are some really good Yorkie breeders in Connecticut as well. And you can find those through the Yorkshire Terrier Club of America. So you could also drive to Connecticut to get a Yorkie. I think it might be easier to go to Connecticut than to get one in New York. So I would consider that. I know it would be more of a drive, but I think it would really be worthwhile. DeWald says, I got my female at age 8 weeks old and you're in South Africa. And if you get another one, hopefully you'll get it at 12 weeks old, because that's really the optimal age to get it. That's sort of what we've been talking about. So for those of you that are just joining now, we're really talking about what age you should bring a Yorkie home. And I think I see a lot of my viewers on here and they are saying that they're getting puppies at, just looking for my little comb to separate Poppy's hair. A lot of them are saying, oh, I'm going to get my puppy at 7 or 8 weeks old. So kind of just wanted to hop on here and say that optimally a Yorkie should go home, minimum of 12 weeks. That's really the best time to get a Yorkie. If you already have a Yorkie and got it earlier, then, obviously that's already done. But if you have the opportunity to make a choice, I would definitely suggest that you wait until 12 weeks old. Oh my gosh, Poppy's ponytail is sticking up so straight. You have to see this, guys. What a pretty girl. Oh my goodness, so cute. Hi, Megan. How are you? Megan says, I found my breeder through the Good Dog website. They have AKC breeders on there too. I don't really know what the Good Dog website is, but I personally wouldn't really just go by AKC. AKC is kind of not as choosy as Yorkshire Terrier Club of America, so it's pretty easy to be an AKC breeder. It doesn't unfortunately mean that they're good breeders. One would think that they would be, but that's like the lowest standard, if you will. Mariana says, here is really common to see dogs in the streets and on chains, which is really sad. That's so sad. I wish that there were more rules there. I'm gonna look that site up. Let's see. Just peeking at this. I always like to see what pops up when I see. So the Good Dog website wouldn't be where I would go to find a dog. It's okay if you already got a dog there, but that website, if you see a dog that has it's just listing a ton of dog breeders, it is definitely not where I would go to get a Yorkie from. It's a for-profit website. They're paying to advertise their dogs, and a good breeder doesn't need to pay to advertise their dogs. And they're not like I'm just looking through, and none of these are show breeders, even though they claim that they have show breeders. They're all None of them are. So just food for thought. I would stay away from any website that has different breeds of dogs on it. That's a no go. And anything that it looks like it's for profit. So the Yorkshire Terrier Club of America is not for profit. It's really for the love of the breed. Um, DeWald says, could you perhaps help? What's the best skincare advice for Yorkie skin and hair, please? So, DeWald, there's a few different things that I would say. So one, I would always address first, and this is like I know people probably will be like, "What is she talking about?" The first thing I would actually do if you're having any kind of skincare issues, itching, allergies, is to do a pet detox. So if you look in the description, I've got a link to something called Polypets. So it's POLI pets, and there's I think if you click on it, you get 25% off if you order through me. It's a really easy pet detox program that you can just you sprinkle a little bit of the powder on their food and you put just a few drops in their food. So a lot of issues that you see with skin are actually toxicity issues and allergy issues. So that detox is great for clearing up those issues. The second thing that I would say is to make sure that you are brushing your Yorkie every single day. So when you brush your Yorkie every single day, you're going to be gently exfoliating. I technically comb them, but it's still really exfoliating, freshening their skin, taking any toxins and extra things off of their skin. And third, any dog that's having any kind of skin issues, I would absolutely say the Aspana Silk shampoo and conditioner is the very best. For that, there's no artificial fragrance, so there's nothing to really irritate your dog. And when you're washing your dog, just make sure that you are really rinsing everything off. So I know some people, what I've noticed in the hair salon is a lot of clients don't rinse all of their shampoo and conditioner out of their hair. I think people are so busy these days. So just really taking the time to rinse and rinse and rinse should make a huge difference. So basically, detoxification, so healthy from the inside out, brushing every day, using Aspana Silk, and also you can think about food allergies too. So I like to use real food for them. I don't use kibble. If I did use kibble, I would look into the book, which is called, oh my gosh, let me remember, The Truth About Pet Food. And she really rates pet foods. So just making sure that there is nothing in the food to irritate your dog, super, super important. With all of those things, that should make a really huge difference. Um, Jackie says, my breeder won't allow puppies to go before 12 weeks. I had a hard interrogation interview with her before she allowed me to have a puppy. I think that's so great. I remember being really nervous when I dealt with the breeder that I got all my dogs from the first time because, I wanted her to know that I was really serious about taking care of a puppy, that I would take great care of it. Obviously, once she knew me, she had no problem with me getting another puppy, and she was really happy to do so. But even when it came to getting Simba, he's still back there relaxing. He's such a cutie. But I remember being really nervous when I talked to the cat breeder because I knew that I wanted a cat and I didn't know how they would feel about the fact that I had, this little like gang of Yorkies. But she's been really happy that she gave me a Yorkie. So that's kind of like the thing with her. Oh my gosh, Megan, I'm so happy to give you that info. And thanks for being so open to it. I never want to give anybody any bad news, but I feel like I would rather people be honest with me. And it's so hard when you're looking at stuff. I think the really hard thing is like most of us want to believe what we read. So when there's a website and they're like, we vet check everything and these are great breeders, it's like we want to believe it, even if sometimes it is not true. Mariana says, how do I keep my fur baby's eyes clean? So 2 different ways, Mariana. Again, it's that detox that I was talking about makes a huge difference, because when your pet has less irritants inside of its body and less inflammation, they just don't make as much eye goop. And secondly, I take a washcloth and I wipe away their eye goop daily usually, and I brush them as well. I feel like I hear my husband's phone back there. Sorry. Love? Love? Yeah. Can you turn your phone sound off? Oh, sorry. It's okay. Sorry, as I yell back to my husband, guys. He turns on his phone. It's so distracting when I'm doing this, and I feel like this is going to pick it up too. So that is how I keep their eyes clean. Mariana says, do you use any detangler on your Yorkies? If so, what brand do you recommend? I sometimes use either Isle of Dogs, Mariana, or I also use the same one, Aspana Silk. Aspana Silk more so because Isle of Dogs uses a little bit of synthetic fragrance, and I'm super sensitive to that. Tiffany says, Good Dog is supposed to be a reputable site that vets breeders with a score from good to excellent. Not every breeder can get on their site. I still wouldn't use it, Tiffany. I know it's supposed to be, but yeah, I mean, I know that it's supposed to be, but I'm really, really, really picky with just using the best sites, and maybe it's supposed to be good, but as soon as I looked at it, those are not show breeders, and it's for profit. So I personally would avoid it. And it says that you researched a palm breeder from Good Dog that turned out to be good, but I will not pay her prices. Her prices are 5,000 to 7,000. So Tiffany, here's another thing. Those breeders are for profit. And what you're going to find, guys, is that when you get a dog, here's the really funny thing. When you get a dog from a show breeder, most of the time, because it's not for profit, you're going to get a more beautiful, more well-adjusted dog that was kept for longer and was bred properly. And it's not going to be as expensive as from one of those sites. So I rarely say how much my dogs cost, guys, but my dogs were, I shouldn't really say because it's online, but they were $2,500 and they're beautiful. A lot of people say you can get dogs for less than that, but you'll also see really beautiful dogs for a lot more than that. And that was from a really reputable show breeder who kept them for the full length of time, and their health is great and they're gorgeous. So, dogs can get super, super expensive, but a show breeder will charge you a lot. They're not going to be cheap, that's for sure, but they're not going to be incredibly, incredibly expensive either. Mariana says, do you think that Royal Canin Yorkie kibble is a good kibble, and have you tried it before? I would not feed that to my dogs, no. So really, I would get the book. I really implore you to get that book, The Truth About Pet Food. You're going to find that almost any commercial dog food is not something that you want to feed your dogs. And almost any kibble is not good. There's a few things. There might be some true dehydrated things, but that's definitely going to be feed grade food, not food grade food. So I would avoid feeding it to my puppy for sure. Tiffany, there must be the equivalent of a palm breeder from a show breeder as well that would hopefully not be as much. I know it's like so crazy, but the show breeders are they have the most beautiful, most excellent dogs that do have kind of weird haircuts sometimes when you get them, but they're usually very reasonably priced for what they are. So and I would always get it from a show breeder or from or just adopting it, for sure. Guys, well, it was so nice to come on and chat with you guys today. I'm going to go and finish getting ready and take the babies out and everything to be ready for Thanksgiving. But just wanted to say hello to you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I appreciate you guys always being so open and coming on and chatting and keeping me and the babies company. So stay healthy and stay beautiful, and wait for your dogs until they're 12 weeks old whenever possible, because you're going to get the best dog ever. And Tiffany, if you feel like it, I don't know if you sent me a message on Instagram. If you did, I didn't see it, but I wanted to send you a message, but I can't send it on here. So if you can send me a direct, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but send me a direct message if you can, Tiffany. It's Megan Graham Beauty or Megan Graham Fitness, because I wanted to tell you something on there. So anyway, guys, it was nice to see you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Happy holidays, Tiffany. Thank you for joining me as always. Goodbye, Mariana. Goodbye, Megan. Goodbye, Jackie and DeWald. Goodbye, Angela. Thank you so much. And Lucky Lou. Oh my gosh, just looking at everybody that was chatting with me. I'm sorry if I missed you. Bailey's Buttons, Jennifer Casey, Ria. Oh my gosh, so many of you guys. Darlene, thank you. Look at all these comments. Thank you, you guys. And Leah, of course. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hit the like button on the way out if you don't mind. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye, guys.